Okay, we are here. Let me double check if our audience could hear us because we are literally live streaming across multiple platforms. Nice. I could hear my voice. And everyone, welcome to our Binance Live again. And today we are very, very happy to have Jimmy joining us. He is the co-founder and CEO from IOPn. We're going to cover something that's been trending in our Web2 and Web3 space, right? We're going to talk about real world assets. RWA as well as AI, and of course the OPN token with Jimmy from LVM. Let's give him a round of applause. And I'm going to remove, here we go. I'm going to remove our cover and then reveal our backstage because Jimmy is over here. Hi, Jimmy. Would you like to introduce yourself and the project IOPN to our audience? Tell us, what are you building right now? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the beautiful intro, Moonlight. Happy to be here and happy to be talking about what we're really passionate about, which is, the AI and blockchain space in general. So IOPN stands for Internet of People Powered by Networks. And we are basically comprised of four main pillars. Our first two infrastructure pillars are the L1 chain that we're launching. So we're launching our own sovereign OPN chain. Keep an eye out for it. It'll be out soon, hopefully on Binance one day. But so our first infrastructure pillar is the open chain. And it's a Cosmos SDK EVM-based chain, sub 1 second finality. Please go ahead on IOPN.io, check out our white paper and the testnet that we're upgrading will be live in the next 2 weeks. The second part of our infrastructure in the ecosystem is an NVIDIA data center. So we have an active partnership with an NVIDIA certified partner where we're going to build an NVIDIA data center here in the UAE. And we're going to leverage some of the computing power also to support our chain. And I'll deep dive into it a bit more later. The two other pillars are what's built on top of this infrastructure. So all of the different dApps, we have a multitude of applications on top, a wallet, an exchange. So all of this will come down the line. But then the lowest hanging fruit right now is tokenization, and a tokenization platform which we're developing, which will be ready very soon. In that tokenization platform, you'll be able to be exposed to tokenized assets as well as tokenize your own assets, whether they be digital, high-end collectibles, or even real estate. Now, definitely there is a compliance layer with that, whereas if you go into more real estate or bigger sizes, that you would have to get regulated. And we're working closely with the regulatory bodies here to really make sure that we're as compliant as possible. And then the fourth arm is our AI research and development. So we have AI teams that build third-party solutions and optimize third-party companies, their operations, and takes care of whatever pain points they have. So this is IOPN in a nutshell.
That is a lot of information from the very beginning. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And once again, congratulations to the achievement. This is super, right? You have, collaborated with the top AI company, right, in the Web2 space and building center at UAE, which is just amazing. We certainly wanted to learn more about it. So since I see that, right now we got over 36,000 live views on Binance. I'm definitely, friends, I wanted to start to drop crypto boxes to our audience over here. And I also wanted to encourage you all to give our speaker, Jimmy, and IOPN a follow so you won't miss additional information from them. Okay. And once again, thank you so much for your support by joining our Binance Live. And I also see that we have, let me see how many people are watching on our Twitter live streaming. Wow, we also got several hundred people viewing right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And we already have a lot of community member posting comments over here, which definitely shows that the IOPN community is so strong, right? And of course, let's focus on the topic. How well tokenize real world assets like real estate reshape investing and ownership in the Web3 space? And we definitely would wanted to know about this part, especially from bricks to blockchain, right? The future of real world asset tokenization. And Jimmy, you're the expert. Do you mind to enlighten us on this topic? Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for the question. So in an like very simply, tokenizing real estate basically transforms it from something physical and illiquid into a programmable, accessible financial product. What does that mean? So imagine a residential tower in Dubai, or a resort in Bali, or a commercial plot in Amsterdam. But all of that being fractionalized, compliant, and purchasable with a wallet without ever having to sign any paperwork or flying across the world for it. So you're not just investing in real estate anymore. You're participating in an on chain economy where ownership comes with yield, with liquidity, and even governance. So tokenization unlocks fractional ownership, and you can real you can in real time do settlements and seamlessly transfer these assets or the fractions of these assets. So you're transforming traditionally illiquid assets into dynamic, accessible investment opportunities. This is huge. So according to BCG, for example, the tokenization of global illiquid assets could become a $16 trillion market by 2030. Imagine that number in your head, highlighting the massive potential being unlocked here. And a separate report by Deloitte, for example, notes that tokenized real estate can reduce transaction costs by up to 65% and settlement times from months to mere minutes. And could you imagine an economy that works this fast and that has access to these priorly illiquid assets, which is huge? So this creates alignment between developers, investors, and communities. And most importantly, we need to think of the little guy. So it democratizes access to high value assets for people who were previously locked out. With a mere $100,000, $10,000 now, you can invest in a secure investment like real estate, whereas before this was impossible. So at IOPN, we're already working with developers like Amal uh, on a Mansouri residence, or Golfland with Tonino Lamborghini residence, to tokenize their branded residences and offer that to our community. So this isn't just a future vision, right? It's live and it's growing.
That is just marvelous. Thank you so much, Jimmy. And friends, I have to encourage everyone, let's type IOPN in the comments over here on our Binance Live screen. And then shout out to the team. Shout out to Jimmy. This is just wonderful because certainly RW is something that we really, really wanted to see. It's booming, right? Not just in the Web 2, but also with Web 3. And kind of like, I think it's kind of like a bridge, right? To connecting the two different spaces together. And this is just awesome. Thank you so much for letting us know about that. And friends, if you are new to the topic, RW or real world assets, this is a tree. You're in a tree, right? Be sure to stay here and learn together. And another topic we'd like to know about, why does controlling infrastructure matter when AI and Web3 intersect? Especially, Jimmy just mentioned that your company, the IOPN, also collab with NVIDIA, right? Which is just amazing. And I feel like AI meets Web3 over there. So who should be in charge and why should we, well, really care about um, control infrastructure? Thank you.
Of course. So let's be clear here, okay? If you don't control the infrastructure, you don't control the intelligence that runs it. Remember when we started with crypto, not your keys, not your wallet. It's the same with data, with the infrastructure that you're using, right? And history has shown that there's been a lot of bad players or leaks or hacks that have happened, especially when the third parties hold all of the data. So we're entering an era where AI, makes decisions now, and basically, it can write code, it can, filter the truths, it can influence economic behaviors, and for that, combine that with Web3, where the value is decentralized, but execution depends on compute. So you're quick to realize here that the layer below the app is where sovereignty lies. So this is why we've built something we've called Project Atlas. Atlas means an advanced tokenized liquid cooled AI stack. So this is our sovereign GPU data center stack in partnership with NVIDIA certified providers that we're building here in the UAE. What does that mean? So it's not just about having computing power. It's about positioning it on chain, metered by smart contracts, and then governed by tokens, which is our token, open chain and open token, and then used by the communities. So OpenChain enables a sovereign identity by giving users full control over their personal data and credentials through a process called zero knowledge proofs, which we will deep dive into throughout this call. So it allows individuals to verify who they are without exposing sensitive information. And this is the privacy that we're clawing back from Web 2, which we've had to lose, right? Any delivery person that comes to your house knows your demographic, knows your name, knows your number, knows so much about you. And all they need to know is that you deserve to get this delivery package. That's it. Why am I sharing everything with them? And that's not just one, it's all of them, right? So who should be in charge? Not any one corporation or one government. It should be sovereign infrastructure should be regional, modular, and programmable. And this is how we preserve freedom and data privacy and long-term trust in a world where AI will touch everything. And we've all been seeing it and feeling it.
Got it. Wow. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for letting us know about that. And friends, what I have to say, IOPN is definitely a project that you wanted to pay attention to. Right? They're kind of like as a leading the trend, right? And talking about AI with three RWA, all those are really, really important for our future as well. And of course, we wanted to go over to the next topic, talking about ZK or zero knowledge, the technology. And friends, like I said, today we are going to learn a lot. Probably some of the phrases for our audience are quite new, right? No worries. We're going to explain this one by one to you. And Jimmy's the expert over here. So the next topic we would like to talk about is how can zero knowledge or ZK tech help fix identity and rebuild trust in our decentralized web? Thank you.
Of course. So Web3 promised trustless systems, correct?
Mhm.
But ironically, identity remains our biggest trust issue. Right now, identity is either too centralized, like social logins, or too fragmented, like wallets with no context. But then ZK proof allows us to bridge that. So users can prove age, reputation, citizenship, or credit worthiness in some cases without revealing the underlying data. And that's a game changer. So at IOPN, we're embedding ZK-backed identity in multiple layers. So into payment rails, users can now transact based on permissions. into tokenized assets, so compliance is enforced at the wallet level, and then into access control, so DAOs and platforms can basically operate with verifiable contributors. So this isn't just privacy for privacy's sake. It's about enabling global, compliant, and secure participation in digital economies. So trust finally without the surveillance.
Nice. Yes, I totally agree with you. It's either to centralize, like using social logging, and then everyone could just connect this wallet address to the social account, and or yeah, a lot of times we were asked to provide, KYC, right? And we don't really know who could have access to our data, right? Our personal information, and which is also
Correct.
quite insecure. So definitely ZK or zero knowledge is really, really important. Friends, well, this shows that IOPN team really care about the user's privacy, right? Which is really, really nice. And thank you so much. Of course, we wanted to cover very important thing since we're in the Web3 space. Tokens are super important. So what can we expect from the OPN token after listing? And also, do you mind to letting our audience who are new to OPN to let us know the token listing schedule with some time frame, and also regarding the utility, stacking program, and liquidity play out? Thank you.
Of course. So it's a very interesting time for our chain. As I said, we are going through an upgrade of our chain, whereas we're upping the security. We are eyeing the next narrative, which is quantum. So there will be something that will, in a way, have some guardrails against that, as well as making it as ready as possible with the latest EVM compilers and other uh, uh, verticals within the chain to really make it as state as of the art as possible. So our chain is going through an upgrade. The testnet should be out in the next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out, follow our socials, and you figure it out. We've also launched a campaign for early adopters. We've launched an early N badge, we called it. We ran that campaign for 10 days. We had an immense reaction. We had 132,000 subscribers. And this is only the beginning. So really appreciate all of our community, all of the society that came in, that is contributing to all of our socials, our Discord, our Twitter, our Telegram. Really very heartwarming, and be sure that we're building something amazing that will give you the most access. Now, OPN is more than a typical utility token. It's the heartbeat of the IOPN ecosystem at large. So after listing, we're activating three layers of utility. So at first you start with compute access, which is we're going to use OPN to be the to be the access basically to GPU power and AI computing. So to connect to Project Atlas, you can buy our token and then stake it and get access to GPU power. And this has been from the beginning something we've been trying to push for, to democratize access to, firstly, of course, institutions, but then moving down to retail. So this is something really interesting. Then developers, institutions, and enterprises will pay to compute with OPN, basically creating an organic demand. Now, then there's the staking vaults. So users will be able to stake OPN to gain access to tokenized RWA deals, priority listings, or even governance down the line. So think of it as your on-chain membership to the IOPN ecosystem. You come, you buy, you stake, and then you can engage with all of the different goods and services from our network. So IOPN powered by networks, our networks, which offer our community access, and then fill in the blank after that. Then we have some cross-chain utility, right? So OPN will serve as the fuel for next-gen reputation and loyalty systems. So powering tokenized rewards, on-chain credentials, and gamified engagement across Web3 and real world ecosystems alike. So it enables programmable incentives tied to user behavior. And this is why the early N badge campaign really worked, because we will reward early adopters, and they have already created, using our own proprietary AI model, their own NFT or their own ID, which we can follow throughout their journey. So, their sovereign identity or their journey within the IOPn ecosystem has already begun, sorry. And as we relaunch campaigns and as we give access to these perks, the community should keep their ears to the ground and be ready for it. So um, yeah, in a nutshell, we're also exploring actually revenue sharing models that are tied to real world transaction flows, which basically give OPN long term value tied to real performance. And we're not just about hype. So, yeah, that's about it.
I like that, especially, yeah, Jimmy, you mentioned that IOPN is really building something, not just about hype, right? Especially talking about tokens over here, because we have seen so many Web3 projects, they just winding down post TGE and not continue to build. But friends over here, IOPN is definitely different. And we could trust them and also continue to see them to grow in Web2 and Web3, well, from RWA, AI, and then Web3. This is just wonderful. Once again, thank you so much, Jimmy. And I would also like to know, will you have time to answer some of our Binance Live communities questions? Because a lot of us are new to OPN and we're just so curious about the project. We wanted to learn more.
Sure, of course, go ahead.
That is so nice. Thank you so much. Well, let's first, we would like to talk about um, how would you see IOPN's direction, or what can we expect in the next 3 months? And we wanted to know, are there anything that our Binance community could participate and maybe have opportunity to get some airdrops in the future? Thank you.
Of course, of course. So we have a rep point dashboard, a rep point system that is going live as soon as the chain goes up, even from the testnet phase. So basically, as I said, your journey with IOPN starts today.
Mm.
So when you come in, you're going to have your own identity within the IOPN ecosystem, and all of the engagement and all of the different pathways that you end up engaging with the ecosystem will give you rep points. And these rep points eventually will have a value. They will be valued in OPN, and they will yield results eventually. So we do really put a lot of pressure and a lot of effort in rewarding our communities, especially that we that's they're the main character in our story. It's not just about us trying to get some hype out or be treated like a meme token and speculated on. We really are focusing on creating an ecosystem, a community that has the right access, that deserves to get access to life-changing opportunities like real estate, like high-end luxury items, like goods and services and trips and uh, you know anything within our network of collaborators, of partners. We work with companies, we work with retail stores, we work with the government. So eventually what we're aiming for is for your online identity to give you access in the real world, to have our chain be linked to the most real world use cases. So in the next 3 months, what you can expect: your rep point system being out, you have our chain that would be out, so starting with testnet but then moving to mainnet. So here's a shout out to all the builders, the developers, the DAOs that want to start coming in and start building on our chain, you are most welcome, and you will definitely be taken care of. And then our tokenization platform will be out. It's in final steps of development. So then any asset that you have, whether it be digital, whether it be a collectible car, whether it be a yacht, or even real estate, once regulation and compliance wraps its head around it, would be available for you to really monetize and to democratize to more people and more communities. Because if you think about it, if you own a $1 million apartment, you're much more likely to sell it to 1,000 people than you are to one. And that's already in our area. The real estate market is booming, and these transactions happen every day. But as I said before, the average Joe, the everyday person, the blue collar, the white collar, even any employee of any establishment doesn't have access to these, and they need to dream of becoming at one point in their time wealthy enough to engage in this economy. But now, with the technology, with the right infrastructure, this becomes available to everyone. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on. Our data center, just passed the final stages of approvals and signing the contracts and everything. So hopefully very soon as well, we'll be announcing where and why and how and when for that. And then we've been building AI with solutions. So also anyone needing a solution, any company that needs a very tailor-made a solution on that, we can listen to their pain points and come up with the right strategy to optimize their business. So a lot is coming in the next 3 months. We're really really excited, and we're very happy for anyone that follows along and that sees us through our journey, and they'll be well rewarded for that.
That is just super nice, and a lot of things are being planned, right, for the upcoming 3 months. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for letting us know about that. And of course, well, since we talk about the following 3 months, and well, would I also like to talk about 2025 and beyond? Well, what trends and innovations will push the next big wave of Web3 adoption this year and beyond? What do you think? What's your views on this topic, Jimmy? Thank you.
Listen, to be very honest with you, when you've been putting your head down and building for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, every year you think that this is your year and this is the right time, and you get excited, especially if you're doing things that are very innovative. But this year hits a bit different. We have a bull market we're in. We have regulation, and things are really changing, right? People are becoming much more aware, much more mature with the space. Adoption is going up. It's really really exciting. Like, I feel this year is much more tangible in terms of results, in terms of appetite. So I think this year will mark the shift from speculation to really real world applications. The next wave won't be driven by another meme token, right? Don't get me wrong, the meme economy is great for the people that are engaged in it. I, for one, never was able to get into it without burning my fingers. So I focused on building more tangible, more utility. So what I think it's going to be built on and is definitely RWAs, or tokenized real world assets. So real yield from real estate, from credit, from physical infrastructure. And we had a very nice Twitter space the other day that was really discussing all the different RWAs, because people, especially in the region, only think about real estate because this is what they're pushing for. But there are so many different things, like all of the credit instruments, like debt that you can tokenize. It's really, really extensive, and it will change the way the whole economy works. Then you have sovereign AI, which we're really focusing on, and computing as a service, but actual sovereign computing, not being part of a pool. Whereas depending on the traffic, you either get your project done within the hours that you need, or else you need to wait. So that's not really that. So on-chain access to decentralized GPU power, and then and which is metered and governed by Web3 rails, which is what we're looking to build here, and especially a big focus for Project Atlas, which is the, again, advanced tokenized liquid cooled AI stack, which we are building in partnership with NVIDIA partners. Then you have the ZK identity part, which basically, is compliance ready access to for global users without any KYC bottlenecks. Um, and then I'm going to finish this point, but then there's a lot about ZK that we can discuss. But regulatory alignment. So you have frameworks like MICA in Europe, or new zones here in the UAE or in Asia that are really focusing on tokenized products. And this will start entering into regulated portfolios, and this is huge. It really will change the game. So we believe that the next 100 million users of Web3 will come through apps they don't even know that are on chain, right? So all of the whole abstract or wallet abstraction is how you're going to really retain these users. And what better than an asset or a direction that they've already been used to, that they'd never had access to, and that now they do. So that will also boost adoption in a way that people I don't think really fathom yet. So really, really excited. So think of real estate platforms or credit protocols or education tools, all powered by blockchain, all under and AI, and all under the hood. And this is what IOPn is trying to build it under our hood. So that's how we make Web3 invisible, but then inevitable as well.
Wow. That is really powerful. I have to say, Jimmy, you are awesome at public speaking and introducing the project
Thank
IOPN
you.
to our Banaside community. So people are curious about the project's team, right? Who are building IOPN behind the scenes? Jimmy, we know that you just told us that the IOPN project is actually based in UAE, right? So, do you mind to
Correct.
share more information about the team's background and your team's experience in the Web2 or Web3 space? Thank you.
Definitely. So we're definitely a decentralized team. We all come from many different walks of life, different nationalities. We've all had different experiences with the space. Our chairman, for example, has been in business for over 50 years. He's started, building educational programs for universities about facilities management, all the way to managing airports in South Africa. He's been working in over 40 countries, Professor Fari, and he brings in onto the table so much wisdom and so much ethics, and really very, very happy to be working with him and learning from him. Then we have our founder, which is Mushtaba, or Mo. Big Mo has been in the UAE since '97. Uh, he's a staple here. He has been through thick and thin. Has been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and he's racked up so much experience and such a big network and connections and reputation for himself, and that really helps us keep innovating and staying ahead of the curve. And then me myself, been in the UAE for over 4 years now. But then my journey started as a gamer. I used to game, most of my life. I did architecture back home in Lebanon. Went to the UK to continue my studies. Did my master's. Was working in real estate at the time, being an architect and coming from a real estate background. My family business back home is in real estate. So I was an avid gamer, top 100 in the world in one of the most famous games, PUBG. And then my friends would just beg me to stream. I would. At that point, I built a big rig at 1080 Ti at the time, the graphic card. I built it myself. I watched so many videos and stuff. And then because I learned how a computer is from inside, I started wanting to kind of, tweak it and overclock it and do some things like that. So that led me to mining, which then led me to reading the Bitcoin white paper. And I dove into that whole realm, right? I was sucked into it. Didn't end up gaming or anything. I overclocked my PC, started mining. And at the time, it was Monero, Ethereum, and Zcash. That was in 2016. Go back home to Lebanon that summer, and in my parents' basement, I built a 16 graphic card rig, HVAC system, everything. We have power cuts there, so I had UPSs on, and then system reboots and all of that. And I was just making money out of air at the time. Like, I was still definitely educating myself, but then it was still all up in the air. But it just created something, that drive in me, because this was actually me. As much as I invested energy in that, it would yield something. So then I learned that trading makes more money. So I started trading. I followed the right traders. I understood their strategies. I started reading books and educating myself properly, and built a prominent portfolio at the time. Then 2018, 2017, my first cycle, held red bags for a while. But then the most important catalyst for me was back home, living in Lebanon. At the time, I had left London, and we had an economic crisis, and our currency devalued by over 98%. We lost all of the money that we had in the banks. And so the central bank failed us in Lebanon. And whatever number was on that screen was not there anymore. So that made me the biggest advocate of decentralization. It's like, if my money was on the blockchain, this would have never happened. This would have been impossible to happen because of the nature of decentralization and how it works. So then whatever I had made with crypto, which I still had, I had met my partners at the time, and we co-founded a platform called Oasis X, which got me to the UAE. It was a homegrown NFT marketplace. And it all started by being a platform for education, to teach people within the region here, because it was a bit not common as the US or the West. But then OpenSea sanctions all of or the US sanctions some countries. So OpenSea then delists all of the NFTs from artists from those countries. And people from these countries never didn't have access to the one and only NFT marketplace.
Oh.
So we built Oasis X for the region, by the region. We handheld every artist on board to teach them about NFTs and Web3 and how they can monetize their artworks, because given the whole economic situation, it was very hard for them to do so. And very quickly, we became the biggest in the region. We had a couple competitors that we really swept through. We were the first NFT marketplace, I think, in the world. I'm not sure. But then we were the first to have both Solana-based NFTs and EVM or ETH-based NFTs in the same place. But yeah, it's been a journey, never stopping. As I say, I only win or I learn. I've burnt my fingers. I've pivoted with my companies before, and we'll keep doing it. Um, Joined IOPn as a co-founder in October of last year, and we've been head down building ever since. So super, super excited. Finally, we have something we can touch, we can smell, we can taste. It's right here. And given the resounding support that we're getting, the interest from the community for something that has value that hasn't been really that focused on, especially recently with the whole meme hype and stuff, which is building true utility with real world backing and real world tangible use cases.
Wow, Jimmy. Wow, I have to say, what a journey, right?
It's only the beginning.
Oh my, you already been through a lot, and that makes you, well, become the you today over here in the IOPn team and leading the team and continue to build. Was just amazing. I have to say that this is why crypto is super important for us, right? Blockchain is very, very important for us. And well, also follow up on the your personal journey and regarding the IOPN's development, we do also have a lot of audience on Binance side curious about the chain, the IOPN chain. Is it going to be a layer one or layer two or something else? Thank you.
Of course. So Open Chain is a layer one blockchain, right? It's its own sovereign chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be built on Cosmos SDK. It's an EVM compatible chain. So you really working on a proof of stake interoperability layer. And then basically um, sub 1 second finality for transactions, you know, also sub 1 second block time, that means. And basically, for now, and this is not us pushing it to the max, we have over 10,000 transactions that can happen per second, and that can definitely be upgradable when needed. Again, we are upgrading our testnet to have the latest EVM version on chain, and we're going to go through an audit by one of the most known auditing firms. So we'll be posting about that moving forward, all about the security. Our Git book is out. Our white paper is on the website. Please go ahead and check it. Our tokenomics, everything about the chain is there. We're really We know that we have the benefit of building it and launching it now. So trust us when we say that we will have it be as robust as possible and as future proof as possible as we can. More to come. I won't disclose too much more. But yeah, super, super excited. Super, um, thankful to be on this side of things, being actually building something of value, building the foundation that people can really step on and build on. This is what makes me the most proud.
That is just really nice. Thank you so much. And as you see, we have a lot of positive comments over here, right? And to support IOPN's project. The community is super strong. And Jimmy, just like you previously mentioned, that community is very important asset within the IOPN ecosystem. So where did you find the community start with, and where are the majority of your community members coming from? Thank you.
So we're multinational, as I said.
Mhm.
We have people that work with us from North America, both US and Canada. We have people from Europe that work with us, France. You have Lebanese, of course, myself, and another a developer of ours as well. We have people from Iran. We have people from the UK. I had mentioned Europe before.
Mhm.
We have people from India, of course, Africa. We're really, really multinational, and we are agnostic. We are open. Keep an eye out on our LinkedIn, for example, when we post job offers and opportunities. We're really the internet of people, and this we mean, and we take very seriously.
That's just really nice. And I do hope that perhaps in the future, we could, when Alpian has another major update, right, we probably could have a bilingual AMA session in Mandarin Chinese and English. So I could also introduce Alpian to our Chinese community and then to let them know.
Definitely. I actually took Mandarin in university,
Ah,
but I didn't practice it enough to hold on to it. And actually, my wife at some point was going to work in China.
uh-huh.
So for like 3 4 months, we were training and whatnot, but then that fell through. But I've been really really interested, to connect with that side of the world, with that community, and would definitely be more than proud to expose ourselves to that community and to have them as part of our community down the line.
That's just really nice. Yes, especially right now, OPN is also having some tasks, right, for the community member to participate and be able to get some token airdrops in the future. I believe our trans community members would be really, really interesting in this. So yeah, my suggestions perhaps in the future, right, when LPN has more information ready to push out, maybe we could have another AMA session on X, right? X
Of
basis.
course,
Then
I've really enjoyed this experience, and anytime you want me with you on stage here, Moonlight, I'll be more than happy to join.
that's nice. And I could certainly make it a bilingual session. I can translate the information on site and then yeah, I could just translate information into Mandarin Chinese so that our Chinese community members learn about IOPN because I think this is a project that more people should really, really know about and be part of it. Once again, thank you so much, Jimmy. And before we wrap our session today, do you have any additional information that you wanted our Binance Live audience to learn about and we haven't covered yet? Thank you.
For sure. So big news for us. We are in the final stages of getting on our first partner into the ecosystem. It's been in the works for the last couple of months, and thankfully, we got the green light today, and we're going through the whole, signing and ceremonies and stuff. So this is really, really exciting for us. We'll definitely hear the news very soon. Other than signing, of course, Mansouri residences and Tonino Lamborghini residences, and this is just the first step into actually bringing value on chain and real world tangible assets on chain. There are more projects coming along. We're exploring one in the Netherlands, the other in Canada. We're really also agnostic to the regions. We don't want to just be limited by the UAE. Of course, a big word here is compliance, and we were working closely with governments to make sure that we're compliant and that everything is safe and secure. Now, another big thing worth mentioning is, we're just really excited for the chain to come out. We have a lot of state-of-the-art things that are to the benefit of our users and the community. So really keep an eye out, follow us on our socials, make sure that you're one of the early adopters because you will be rewarded, and this is part of our ethos in IOPN. Now, just to wrap up, we spoke about a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. So tokenization specifically is not just a new financial tool. So it's a new social contract, right? And one where ownership and opportunity and access are no longer defined by geography or wealth. but by participation and contribution. So at IOPN, we're not just building hype, and I've said that before. We're building infrastructure, true infrastructure with true utility and an ecosystem that lasts. And we're doing it globally, as I mentioned, with partners in AI, in real estate, DeFi, in governments, huge companies like NVIDIA. And the future of Web3 is sovereign and interoperable and deeply human. And it's already happening. So don't snooze on it.
Exactly. Totally agree with you, right? A lot of people like just kind of like overseeing it, and friends after listening to Jimmy's AMA session over here today, I believe we all have this realization, right? Definitely don't snoop on it and need to pay attention to it. Also, give Jimmy and give IOPN a follow. I also like to share my screen because I see that our AMA session is being featured on the front page of Binance Life, and I wanted to let everyone to see it, and friends be sure to give Jimmy and give Albion a follow. If you go to Binance.com and you find the live section, you are going to see our banner over here. And we also put IOPM's X handle right here. And you can also just search Jimmy IOPN. You are going to find him, and please give him a follow. We don't want to miss more important updates from Jimmy and the team. Once again, thank you so much for spending time with us, Jimmy. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Moonlight. It was a real pleasure to be here with you. And thank everyone for tuning in.
Thank you so much. Let's keep in touch.
Definitely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, friends, I'm going to put the banner over here because I think the banner is super, super cool. I'm also going to screenshot this Binance Life. Okay, I think I could do this screenshot over here. Binance Life front page, super cool. And friends, once again, IOPN this project is amazing. They're building something real. And they're collaborating with the big company, NVIDIA. Wow. That's just amazing. Okay. I'm going to play some music over here to wrap up a session. Once again, thank you all for joining us here. Whoa, I see that we got a lot of messages over here. So I'm going to just post it. Our friend saying, LFG, let's go. Awesome. Well, hello. IOPN. Good. You're cool. To the moon. IOPN. Great. I think the community is super active. LFG. Wait for big announcement. LFG. IOPN. Nice. IOPN does a really active community. All of these are super positive comments. IOPN. Yeah, we also have our Chinese audience. Oh, I believe this is Vietnamese. I cannot read, I'm sorry. And was that good? Yo. Great. Yes, we have friends saying, be early. Nice. Oh, Aries, super cute. Aries says, I like that beard. Okay, yes, Jimmy has beard. Let's go. GLPN. Nice. I love the community. You guys are super energetic. Oh, Cloud9, repost the string. Thank you so much, Cloud9. Also, Lumen West, repost this string. Thank you so much, Lumen West, for your support. Hi. Thank you for sharing such an interesting story. Oh, yes, friends, Jimmy's personal journey to Web3 is definitely amazing. Solid. Yes. Bye. Yes, bye. Thank you so much. And this is the end of our AMA session with IOPN's Jimi. He's the co-founder and CEO at IOPN. Be sure to give them a follow. Thank you all for joining us today. We had a great time, and I believe you also feel this is just a very informative AMA session. We learned a lot, right? Thank you for your participation. We'll see you next time. Bye.